Hello, hello. This is Dallas Cohen, the Rebound Coach, and you are watching or listening to an episode of The Rebound Coach Live. I am Dallas Cohen, the Rebound Coach from thereboundcoach.com. You might be saying, what is a rebound coach? I've never even heard of that. If this is your first time sharing virtual space with me, thank you so much for joining. There's a lot of virtual things, a lot of people and voices arguing and fighting over your attention and hoping to purchase your attention. And the fact that you have invested in yourself tonight is so very valuable. So I just want to say, number one, thank you so much for coming. Whether you are here on Facebook or you are over on Clubhouse, feel free to put in the chat, in the comments. I'd love to know who you are and that you're here. Please leave me a comment and say, hey, so I can say hi. Again, I'm so very glad you're here. And if you're not sure what a rebound coach is, I'm a coach and I help people get unstuck. In particular, I serve high achieving women of faith who have been through betrayal, trauma, or abuse, which happens to be a whole lot of us, and those who want to reclaim territory in their relationship with themselves. It is something that gets passed on the wayside as we survive and take care of the people we care about. But it does come time eventually in your life to reclaim that territory. And when you're ready for that, you find your way here. I'm so glad you're here with me today. If it's our first time and you don't know anything about me, I'll give you just a little bit of background. Here's the thing, y'all. I was married 10 years to this dude who wanted me dead, and he almost got a chance to try it. Now, that didn't make a lot of sense for somebody like me. I grew up with godly parents. They loved God. They loved each other. They were married for a lifetime. My dad was my mom's caretaker. So I saw self-sacrificial love. They were a very good marriage example. So it didn't make sense. Those statistics say you're not supposed to have anything bad happen to you relationship-wise if you have two godly parents that are married, right? Except that's not what happened. I was also molested from age 8 to age 16. And that radically affects how you see yourself, how you relate to God in a household of faith, and how I related to men. And so, fast forward, when I met the man that I married and eventually divorced, there were definitely red flags. There were reasons not to be together. But I'm a praying woman. I believed that God's answer was yes. And because of that, I believed whatever would come, we would overcome it. We'd outlast it. God would swoop in and change him and change things. And it would all be okay. Hooray. And he did swoop in and change things, just not in the way I was expecting. See, trouble came right away and never quite left. We got into a cycle of what I call coping and crisis. So it's where you never quite get to good, you never quite get to satisfied. You're just doing this coping dance. You're walking on eggshells. You're being very careful not to upset him. You're following the rules that keep changing. You're doing your best to follow the rules that keep changing. You don't want to make him mad and you're trying not to set him off and all the things. And so we do that for a while. And then all of a sudden there's this big crisis. Poof, just blows everything up. And then everything's on the floor. You have to recollect and get back to this coping dance. And so we did that for the better part of 9 years. Toward the end of 2019, beginning of 2020 is where everything came to a head. He had left for another woman. He was a serial adulterer, but this time he left. And I found out him and that woman had been plotting my murder for months by the time I found out about it. Needless to say, this is a record scratch moment. If you're watching the movie and suddenly the record scratches, it's you're like asking all the deep questions, and it was a very scary time. It was a very much in the thick of it kind of time. There was, childhood services or child safety services in my home several times a week. I was getting death threats and crazy calls. I was trying to work my job and keep my kids safe. Like there was a lot going on, and it was a little crazy. And I really had to ask myself some serious questions. I will tell you that through a divine set of events, and I mean like outrageous how everything fell into place in order, nothing but divine, I could call it. Not only am I alive here to talk to you today, but my children and I are safe and well, and we've been preserved and we continue to grow. And relearn and unlearn and grow in the things of God. And I have the honor of serving women who were like me, who were good girls and did everything they knew to do right and trusted God and still ended up in really scary, dangerous situations and were unsure whether or not they were allowed to be safe, whether or not it was okay for them to divorce. And y'all, I had built this whole platform as a coach around being married and staying married and how covenant is the only way. And if you really love God, you will stay married no matter what happens, because that's what I believed in 10,000%. That's what I was doing. And that's what I was teaching others to do. And if you can imagine, if you built this entire identity, entire platform on how to stay married when it's really hard, because that makes you extra righteous. And that's the thing that's, crumbling on the floor. Suddenly your life is in danger. And I had to make some hard decisions. I could allow the identity that my ex-husband had planned for me, who told me who I could talk to, how I could express my faith, what I was allowed to wear, what I was allowed to do, where I was allowed to live, how many days I had left on the planet, right? Or I could choose life. Out of that entire situation, y'all, I wrote a book. It's a memoir. It's actually my second book. And it's called I Choose Life, Rewrite Your Love Story and Change Your Legacy. And this is not just about my story. It is definitely. So if you were into like murder mysteries, if you like Law and Order SVU, like this is your jam, okay? Like receipts and all, okay? But this is not just about an interesting story. This is the heart song of so many women that really don't know if it's okay to be safe. They really don't know if God loves them or their marriage more, and if they're doing the right thing. And so if you are someone who has survived abuse, whether that's childhood sexual abuse, an abusive marriage, an abusive romantic relationship, anything, any form of abuse, or if you love someone who has and you want to know how to support them, this book is for you. You can find this book at thereboundcoach.com/book. That is thereboundcoach.com/book. You can get one of these physical copies right here and I will sign it and mail it to you. I'll write you a love note. Or you can get one from Amazon. They will send one over, or they will. You can get an ebook there as well. Y'all, I am overcoming a little bit of a sniffle, so I have some tea here. Y'all can't see it, but it's lovely. And so I might take a sip every now and again because I am overcoming that. But y'all, what do you do when you are in the thick of it? So I don't know about y'all. I can say that for high achieving women, I don't just serve any kind of woman. I serve women that are movers and shakers. They have goals, they have dreams, they have ambitions, and they are about their business, right? Whatever they do, and they are doing it with everything they can. But as accomplished and intelligent and beautiful and confident as they are, not just they seem, but as they are, on the other side of that can be depression, can be burnout, can be frustration. And I know that I've personally lived that. And I remember one time, even as a child, dealing with that and saying that out loud to my family at the dinner table, that I was struggling, and being laughed at, just straight being laughed at, because someone who achieves, such as me, someone who gets good grades and follows the rules and does all these extracurriculars, surely you're not dealing with burnout. Surely you're not dealing with stress, anxiety, depression. Surely that can't be happening to you. But the truth is, it does. It happens to everybody. There's no exception because you're like equipped, right? It happens to everybody. So how do you know whether you're like in a major crisis, like I shared my story with you? That was definitely a time I was in the thick of it. Like life is just swirling. Sometimes you're in a big, thick crisis like that and you're in the thick of it. And sometimes you're just in daily life. And somehow that life, what used to be exciting, has gotten stale. And things are just kind of humdrum, right? So whether you're in a major crisis like I was, or the pressures of regular life is pressing in, we can find ourselves overwhelmed and in the thick of it. I can tell you, overwhelmed, I try not to say it a lot, like, because your words have power. So you don't want to confess that over yourself. I will say that I have felt those feelings quite frequently. And I know I'm not alone. Our culture, our society, we're in a hustle culture. That doesn't mean quit everything and namaste. That's not what that means. That's not what I'm saying. But we can be in a cycle that is burning us out. Okay, so signs you are in the thick of it. Okay, here's how you know. Some of the ways you know. If you are, yes, no, yeah, Autumn, like humdrum, like I'm bored. I'm bored. I had to fuss at my daughter. She has they're in a summer camp, and they were complaining because the field trip was canceled. We're gonna do a fun activity at our camp instead. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Did somebody owe you a field trip? Like, no one has to do anything nice for you. And I remember when I was a kid, okay, so everybody has this experience at least once where they're like, there are starving children in Africa, right? I don't know if you've had that experience before. And here's what I'll say. If you are, okay, so they went away from there. All right. So just want to checking the Clubhouse. And on Clubhouse, just so you know, if you're listening in, we do the first portion as a listen only, and then we do an after chat on Clubhouse. And if you're watching on Facebook and you want to join the after chat on Clubhouse, you are welcome to do so. The name of the club is Sanctuary XP. And then the name of the room is What to Do When You Are in the Thick of It. It's the same title as this one. So you're welcome to join us over there. So yeah, I had one of those, there are children starving in Africa kind of conversation. I didn't say those words, but it was the same sentiment. Like, how dare you be ungrateful or entitled about the things that someone's gifting to you, right? So there's so much when we are in the regular life walk, like there's not a crisis going on. We're just in our regular life walk, and suddenly I'm bored, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm over it. Like, there's some internal checking that needs to happen, right? So stumbling through your days, loss of focus, feeling scatterbrained, not feeling like you're ever going to get it together, and breathless or closed in. I said to a friend of mine, I said, I feel like I'm choked. I feel like I'm literally choked. And it's not a new feeling. It's something that comes around when I am stressed. When I'm thinking about something I don't have the answers to, I don't feel very confident about a certain situation, and I stew on that business, it just closes my throat right up. And it's not a good feeling, right? So that is one of the ways that you feel breathless, you feel tired, you feel frustrated, you feel bored. Those are signs that you might be in the thick of it, whether that is a crisis thick of it or a regular thick of it, right? So what do you do? Okay, what can we do? So number one, stop and refocus. Okay, stop and reevaluate and refocus. I'm trying to see what my notes say. Breathe. It says stop, breathe, and refocus. Y'all, you gotta be patient with me while I read my notes. Okay. So here's the thoughts to kind of go through in your mind. Number one, am I overreacting? Am I making something bigger than it is? I know for myself, when I feel like I'm overwhelmed by a thing, often, not always, often I am making a bigger deal of that thing than it really is. If I feel like something's a mountain, oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard and so long. I'm going to have to spend so much time and energy doing this thing. I don't want to do it. Then I procrastinate. Okay. And then when you procrastinate, the next day, the pressure is more. And the pressure is more. You're getting closer to whatever deadline is looming ahead of your head. I didn't do the thing. Okay. So that happens when we procrastinate. But if we back it up, oftentimes, it's not as big a deal as I have made it. It's not a big a deal as I have made it. And I will tell you this too. This helps my whole soul. You ready? I live by this phrase. Done is better than perfect. Often we are doing the perfectionism dance. I got to get this perfect. I got to get all the way right. I have to do it thorough. I have to double and triple check. This is why it's going to be hard and long and difficult. Done is better than perfect. Get it done. That doesn't mean be sloppy, but that also doesn't mean get stuck in analysis paralysis. So, number one, am I overreacting? Number two, am I taking things for granted? So it's so easy in our culture, in our first world problem culture, to take things for granted and not to cultivate gratefulness in our heart. And when we take things for granted and when we get to an entitled place, suddenly everything, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm bored. I'm tired. This is blase. Okay. Am I overreacting? Yes, thank you. Number one, am I overreacting? Number two, am I taking things for granted? Number three, and this is a big one, am I telling myself a story? We are always telling ourselves a story. The question is, what story are you telling yourself? I will say that sometimes, and this is what I encourage you to do, those of you who pray, and if you're over here in this neck of the woods, the virtual woods, you are one who prays. I would say to you to pray and ask God to hear the song beneath your words, to be sure of the story you are telling yourself. Because we are all telling ourselves a story all the time, a good one or a bad one or something in between. We are always giving ourselves an interpretation of the facts. Okay. So if your story is, it's not going to work out, 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 this is not going to work out, it's just not going to work out, it's not going to work out. Okay. If that's your story, no matter how many good things you see, you have a justification, an excuse, a workaround, a reason why it still won't. I hear this in my children, and children are such gifts because it shows you all sorts of things about yourself. I learned so much about myself through my children. It's not even funny. So if I say, hey, this good thing is happening, I have a daughter that will say, yeah, but it's too late for this. It's not too late. You have that. Well, I can't because of this thing. Yes, you can because of that. Well, it won't work because of this, right? Like 3 and 4 reasons down why it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. Why? That's a story. She's telling herself a story. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And so no matter what good evidence comes up, all she can see is that's not going to work because of that. That's not going to work because of that. That's not going to work because of that. Right? And I thought to say, I thought in my mind, man, she's so negative. And then Holy Spirit brought up when I was young, probably around her age, my father said to me, why are you so negative? Touche, right? It happens. It can happen to anyone. But as an adult, it is our responsibility to know our story and to change our story. And why is that? So what if you don't pay attention to the song beneath your words? What if you don't pay attention to the story you're telling yourself? That means you can spend a lot of time, energy, and money on external solutions that go nowhere. This is why you can, buy your exercise or wellness program, whatever, pick your poison. You can buy that thing. You can go to all the seminars. You can do all the stuff and not get the results because you're telling yourself a story, right? And if you don't know your story and if you're not addressing your story, nothing changes. Nothing changes until something changes, right? So know your story. Know you are telling yourself a story. Find out what it is, right? And if you're not sure, ask a trusted friend or family member. Hey, I'm trying to figure out why X isn't working, whatever that is. Can you help me see what I'm saying to myself that might cause me to get there? I'm really trying hard and it's just not coming through. What is the deal? Okay. So am I telling myself a story? Okay. Something else to do. Cultivate gratefulness. This seems really simple. And it is simple. It's not always easy, but it is simple. Cultivate gratefulness. And you might be like, I'm in an abusive situation, Dallas. There's nothing to be grateful for. You're breathing. That's step 1. You are learning something to help get your soul free. Step 2. You're growing, you have access to the internet. If you're watching or listening, it's because you have access to the internet. Those are great things to be thankful for. Right there. 1, 2, 3. Right? There's more. Count your blessings. And that be like, oh, that doesn't fix the problem. It does. It fixes your heart problem. And then you can find solutions instead of problems. Okay? Cultivate gratefulness. What else to do when you're in the thick of things? Rest. Rest. That sounds counterintuitive. What do you mean? I got so many things to do. I'm going to have more things to do if I rest. I'm going to have more things to do if I take a break. I'm going to have more things to do. Yes, I know. And when you are doing the rest thing, whatever that is for you, if you are getting more sleep, if you are spending time with your family, if you are taking a break or a vacation or going to get a pedicure, like somebody's going to go tomorrow. Okay. If you're doing all those things, don't put your mind at work because that defeats the purpose. Be present where your feet are, wherever you are. Like right here, we're in this moment. And you might be listening while you're like washing dishes or doing something in your house, or, this is on your stream while you're doing something. Like we are here. We are here together. Yes, I'm trying to keep up with the things. Cultivate gratefulness and rest. So we are right here. Take this moment and be present. It's so incredibly valuable to be present, just to practice being present, not somewhere else in your mind. Okay, rest one day at a time. And the last thing to do, and this is not mutually exclusive, these are just some tips to help when you're in the thick of things, is to nourish your heart. We feel that overwhelmed, that frustration, that tired, that depression, that breathlessness, because something is missing. There's time and attention missing toward us. Not in the selfish way, but in the self-nourishing way. And even time spent with our Creator. We can spend a lot of time doing good things, even doing God things, and not nourishing our heart with our Creator. Those are two different paths. The ministry track, so to speak, can be just as much a race as the corporate career, just as much a race as entrepreneurship, just as much a race as any other career endeavor, any other occupation. It can burn you out. You can lose your family. It can do all the things. And it has. And we've seen it, right? So taking the time to nourish your heart is just so valuable. And guys, I have to tell you, ladies, I have to tell you, we have a opportunity for that coming up very, very soon. It's called Sanctuary Experience. It is a 3-day VIP retreat for women in leadership, women who are in the thick of it, women who have experienced trauma and are reclaiming territory in their relationship with self, women who want to connect to God, women who want to connect with themselves. It is a very heart-nourishing experience. And I want to share a testimony. I want to share one of the ladies' experience. Her name is Janice. She's going to tell you her experience at Sanctuary.
So wasn't quite sure what to expect. My name is Janice, and I was invited here by Dallas, and I came here broken and unsure and very disconnected to my King. And ever since I got here, and I've been able to be a part of a group with ladies that share similarities and heart stories and their own experiences, it's been absolutely amazing. Not only have I been able to solidify, or not me, but allow the King to woo me back into his love chamber and bring me back to him. This has been the most amazing experience that I've ever had in my adulthood, and I'm so thankful to be here, and this is not going to be my last time. And whoever's watching, if you ever have the opportunity to have an experience to be here and be a part of the sanctuary, I recommend it with all of my heart. to come and just sit before your King and just let him love you all over again.
Oh, that makes me smile because of the difference it makes in people's lives, and the beauty and the change that we see, and the weight that comes off, and the smiles that break out, and the freedom that people receive. If that sounds like something you'd like to also experience, your next step is going to thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary. That is thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary. And I would just encourage you to do whatever it takes to get here. Get the money, get the plane ticket, get the babysitter, get the rental car, like whatever you need to do, because you're worth it. You are worth it. You are worth it. Not just your responsibilities, not just the other people you take care of. You are. You are. And if you're like, yeah, I know, but no buts, you're worth it. How long are we going to spend in cycles of frustration and overwhelm? How long are we going to fight depression? How long are we going to try to do this alone? You don't have to do this alone. Your next step is going to thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary. The next sanctuary experience is coming up very soon on September 8th, 9th, and 10th. It will be in Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, and you do not want to miss it. Go check it out. If you have any questions about that, you want to ask a question, feel free to contact me. You can go to thereboundcoach.com, or you're watching me on social media in one place or the other. So feel free to reach out. My inbox is open. I'll be more than happy to talk with you and answer any questions, get you the information that you need to make an informed decision. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. After chat, we're about to put you up to the stage so we can talk about this. But if you are here on Facebook, please leave in the comments, what are some of the things you do when you're in the thick of it? What about this episode today resonated with you, and what are you going to apply? Thank you so much again. I will see you next week. And until next time, choose life.